Jai Shri Krishna. Welcome to Hindu Media Wiki podcast. This week we will describe the procedure of an ideal wedding. The procedure of wedding differs from place to place. The reason for it is that most of South India follows the Apastamba Griha Sutra, whereas North India follows the Paraskar Griha Sutra. First, what is Griha Sutra? Griha Sutras are the Vedic manuals which deal with performance of the domestic ritual. Each Veda developed several schools, and each school used its own manual based on the original Vedic texts. In different parts of India, different schools prevailed, which gave rise to regional variations found today. Whatever the differences, there are 5 essential features of the Vedic marriage that are the irreducible minimum and must be included for the ceremony to be considered bona fide and valid. The customs and rituals that people wish to adhere to must be done in addition to the 5 essentials. According to the Shastras, folk customs regarding marriage must always be respected by Lord Brahmins. The 5 essential features of a Vedic marriage are: first, the engagement ceremony involving the consent of the parents; second, formal bestowal of the bride on the groom; third, ceremonial honoring of the groom by the bestower; fourth, taking of the bride's hand by the groom; fifth, the rite of the 7 steps. In this podcast, we cover the procedure of marriage according to Apastam Griha Sutra followed by South India. In the next episode of the podcast, we will look at the North Indian wedding procedure as per Paraskar Griha Sutra. A detailed description of each of the 19 rituals with English translation of mantras and its sources now follows. This is a long podcast, but believe me, each mantra and its meaning is very important to understand. Vara Preśaṇam, invitation of the bride. First, permission is required from the elders to begin the ceremonies. After offering worship to Ganesha or Vishnu for the removal of obstacles, betel leaves and areca nuts along with some monetary offering is given to 2 Brahmins who are requested to go and ask for the hand of the bride. Varavaranam, invitation of the groom. The bestower formally welcomes the groom and after washing his feet and honoring him, invites him to accept the hand of the bride and to become his son-in-law. The bride is then brought to the canopy and is seated to the right of Kanyadanam, bestowal of the bride. After reciting the sankalpa or statement of intent, the hands of the couple are joined. The bride's father places a coconut in their hands, and after the clan, Gotra, and the names of the illustrious ancestors, Pravara, have been proclaimed, water is poured from a conch shell over the coconut by the bestower's wife. This maiden is well adorned and bedecked with gold. I, desirous of attaining the realm of Vishnu, give her to you, O embodiment of Vishnu, the supreme being who resides in the hearts of all beings, and all the gods are witnesses. I bestow my daughter upon you so that you may fulfill your mutual obligations to your forefathers through the begetting of offspring. For the performance of dharma, for the begetting of offspring, and for companionship in your daily duties, are you formally joined in marriage. This daughter, well dressed, righteous, well mannered, and intelligent, is united with you in matrimony, so that you may fulfill your social and religious duties for prosperity and fulfillment of desires. The groom then recites, "This woman will be before me, she will be beside me, she will encompass me on every side May you be liberated through your gift. Acceptance by the groom. The groom recites, "Impelled by God, I receive you, with the two arms of right knowledge and right action, and with the hands of the enricher, I receive you. May King Varun lead you, O goddess, to a partner for the sake of progeny. By that may you attain immortality as well as material enjoyment and well-being. Who is giving what and to whom? Love is the giver and love the receiver. Love has entered into the ocean of being. Through love I receive you. O love, all this is for you." Vows of the couple. The couple now recite the vows. They promise that in the three areas of life they will live together in the field of dharma, the religious, moral, spiritual field, artha, prosperity, mutual financial arrangements, and kama, pleasure, recreation and procreation, will never do the wrong thing to each other. Admonition. In righteousness, in prosperity, in recreation, nurture her at all times and never offend this tender woman in any way. Groom. I will offend her in any way. Manu declares, once is the partition of inheritance made, once is a maiden given in marriage. Madhupark, Vara Puja, offering of honey by the way of honor to a distinguished guest. The word literally means a ceremony in which honey is shed or poured on the hand of a person. The Madhupark is offered to 6 persons who happen to visit one's home. Ritviks, priests officiating at sacrifices when they are chosen for a sacrifice. A Sanatak, a Vedic graduate. The king or a government official. One's acharya, spiritual teacher. A bridegroom. One's father-in-law, paternal and maternal uncles, or any other person who is dear to one and whom one wishes to honor. This is still performed at the canopy after the groom arrives at the hall. On their wedding day, the groom is considered the embodiment of Vishnu, the preserver, and the bride is Lakshmi, the goddess of prosperity. The groom is received by his father-in-law. His feet are washed, water is given to sip, and a honey drink called Madhupark is offered. A few small matters may be noted. Several Griha Sutras, such as the Manav, describe Madhupark as a part of the marriage rite, while others like Asvalayan describe it independently. Others describe it as a part of the graduation ceremony, Samavartan. In modern times, there is generally no Madhupark except in marriage, and then too it is a simple matter, and the elaborate procedure prescribed in some of the Griha Sutras is hardly ever followed. Meat is never offered. Samīkṣaṇam, sitting face to face. The couple sit and face each other. Om, to us, O God Varun, bring her, kind to her brothers. Bring her, O Lord of the universe, Brihaspati, kind to her husband and her children. O Indra, O creator of the universe, Savita, bring her with prosperity. Atharva Veda. Om. Gaze gently upon each other, never be hostile to each other, be tender to animals, of cheerful mind, beautiful in your glory, the parents of heroes, be devoted to the gods, be the bestower of happiness, be good and kind to us and to all creatures. Rigaveda. Kanya Saṃskāram, sanctification of the bride. Previously, men undertook the vow of brahmacharya, studentship, and studied the Vedas. Women were excluded from the privilege of Vedic study and consigned to home duties. The wedding ceremony therefore became the equivalent of the bride's initiation ceremony, Upanayana, that the boys underwent. The groom is the guru, and through the Vaivāhika Homam she is initiated into her domestic duties, and with the husband is the equivalent of living with the Guru and his family, Gurukula Vasa. The bride sits on a chair facing the east. The groom takes a blade of sacred grass, darbha, and wipes the forehead of the bride and then casts it to the west. Remove from you all that is negative, inauspicious. O Brahmins, bring pure water with which to bathe this maiden, removing her from all sin, detriments and faults. Atharva Veda. The groom places a crown of sacred grass on her head. May this bride be surrounded by the blessings of all your mutual relatives. Atharva Veda. He holds a miniature yoke above her head. O talented groom, sanctify your highly competent wife through these three devices, through the yoke which symbolizes her union with you, through the gold which represents the ultimate truth, and through the water which represents the cosmic principles. May she be radiant like the sun and attain the goal of light. Atharva Veda. Some gold or the Mangal Sutra is placed over the whole of the yoke. The priests perform the holy bath, Mangalya-Dhāraṇam, by sprinkling holy water on the bride. May the golden-hued, the bright, the splendid cosmic principles that produced the sun and fire, those that contain the supreme wisdom, the golden ones, bring joy to you and bless you. Atharva Veda. May the subtle ether in the midst of which the resplendent Lord pervades, watching men's pious and impious deeds, which acts as a medium for lightening, beautiful in appearance, bring joy to you and bless you. Atharva Veda. May the subtle ether which supports the manifold beautiful objects in the sky, which acts as a medium for lightening, beautiful in appearance, bring joy to you and bless you. Atharva Veda. May the cosmic principles behold you with auspicious eye, touch you with their auspicious hands. May the bright and pure, shedding loveliness and brilliance, bring joy to you and bless you. Atharva Veda. Vastra Dānam, presentation of clothing. The groom presents the bride with a new set of clothes as a token of his intention to take care of all her material needs for the rest of her life. O lover of song, may these our chants encompass you on every side, strengthening you with long life. May they bring delight to you. Shukla Yajurveda. The bride retires to don the new sari. Mangalya-Dhāraṇam. Bestowing the tokens of marriage. The brides bless the Mangal Sutra and the tray is carried around for all the congregation to bless. The bride returns to the mandapa and sits on her father's lap. According to some traditions, she sits on a bag of rice, symbolizing abundance and fecundity. The groom holds the cord of the Mangala Sutra around her neck and ties 3 knots. The following verse is chanted by the groom and the Brahmins. Om. I tie this thread. I place this sacred ornament around your neck so that we may live long together and remain together, enjoying prosperity for 100 autumns. A present is given to the sister of the groom by the bride's party. Couple exchange garlands 3 times to confirm their intimate bond with each other. According to Hindu culture, food, garlands and clothing can only be shared with those who are most intimate. Yoktra Bandhanam, binding of the girdle. The groom ties the yoktram or girdle made of sacred grass around the waist of the bride. We pray with a pure mind that we may obtain the blessing of good children, fortunate and of sound health. O Agni, be propitious to us in this matter. I bind this girdle for happiness and the performance of righteous deed. Atharva Veda. The groom takes the bride by the hand and leads her to the fire while the priests chant the following verse. Let the Lord who nourishes take your hand and hence conduct you. May right action and right knowledge transport you. Go to the house of your husband and to be the mistress of his household and speak as a lady to the gathered people. Rig Veda. Agnisthāpanam. Kindling the sacred fire. A new grass mat is spread to the west of the fire. The couple take their seats with the bride to the right of the groom. The groom performs the preliminary rites and then recites the following 2 verses. O woman, equanimity is your first guardian, observance of the Vedic law is your second, knowledge and strength of character are your third guardians. One born of woman is your fourth guardian. Atharva Veda. Tranquility develops in the girl the sentiment of following the Vedic law, which in turn brings her knowledge and strength of character, which bestows upon me prosperity and progeny. Atharva Veda. Pāṇigrahaṇam, holding hands. The groom takes the bride's right hand and recites the following mantras. I take your hand for well-being so that together we may attain old age in happiness. The sovereign cosmic principles, enjoyment, bhag, aspiration, Aryaman, creativity, Savitar, and completeness, Purandhri, have united us for the performance of our duties as householders. Rig Veda. This institute of householders was previously established by these cosmic principles. May we attain their benediction. Apastamba Mantra Brahman. O Saraswati, personification of learning and elegance, the source of well-being, O gracious one, you whom I praise are the source of all creation. Apastamba Mantra Brahman. May the outstretched golden hands of the purifying life force, which pervades all directions, unite our minds as one. An appointed member of the family then ties the hems of the couple's garments together. Saptapadi, taking of 7 steps. The couple now take the first 7 steps in their journey of life together. These steps represent the 7 areas of life that they need to work on together in order to have a perfect marriage. We will cover the significance of Saptapadi in the next videos. Vaivāhika Homam, the wedding sacrifice. The priests now make oblations of ghee into the sacred fire with the following Vedic verses. If the groom has been initiated and wears the sacred thread, he may be encouraged to make the oblations himself. If not, the priests do it on his behalf. Aśmarohanam, treading upon the millstone. The couple retire to the north of the fire, where a millstone has been placed. The bride stands upon it facing the east. The stone represents difficulties and hurdles in married life. Conflict is inevitable, and the success of a marriage depends on how effectively the couple learn to apply their conflict resolution skills. Tread upon this stone. Be you firm and steadfast as this stone in all your tribulations, pressing underfoot all negativity and grief. Apastamba Mantra Brahman. Lāja Homam, offering of puffed grains. The bride's cupped palms are filled with puffed rice by her brother. Then, supported by her husband, she offers the grains into the fire with the following mantras. This woman thus prays to God as she offers oblations of grains. Long live my husband. Yes, 100 autumns let him live. May this maiden sacrificing here in the fire be completely united to her husband. O Aryaman, grant you this, that they may never be parted. Apastamba Mantra Brahman. Aryaman, you are the personification of spiritual aspiration. Mysterious are you. O self-sustainer, as a kind friend, with streams of milk they anoint you, when you make the wife and husband one-minded. Rig Veda. The person who helps the bride in this ritual is the nominated protector or sponsor of the bride. If she encountered any domestic difficulties in her new home, she could then summon her sponsor to come to her aid and to meditate and to mediate on her behalf. Pradakṣinam, circumambulation. The couple then circumambulate the fire altar 3 times with the groom leading. O Agni, in obedience to your command, we have brought the bride along with the marriage procession. Unite her now with her husband along with future progeny. Rig Veda. O Agni, give a long life and energy to this couple. May they both live for 100 autumns. Atharva Veda, Rig Veda. Guide them through all tribulations as easily as one passes through rivulets of water. Rig Veda. Yoktra Vimocanam, releasing of the girdle. The groom releases the grass girdle, yoktram, that was tied around the bride's waist. This act is symbolic of transferring the duty of protection from the father to the husband. O bride, I free you from the restrictions of your parents, wherewith your blessed father has bound you, into the seat of the sacred law, to the world of virtuous actions. I give you up uninjured with your consort. Rig Veda. Thus I release you from the noose of Varun, wherewith the impeller, the giver of success, hath bound you. I establish you in the realm of spirituality, in the world of virtuous actions, together with your husband. Final oblation. O mystic fire, giver of refuge are you, irreproachable, in truth the refuge of the devotees. We meditate upon you in our minds, O bearer of oblations, grant unto us healing remedies. Apastamba Mantra Brahman. Blessing. Then the priest asks everyone to bless the newlywed with this mantra. Highly auspicious is this bride. Come congratulate her. Wish her a married life filled with her husband's love, and then repair to your respective dwellings. Departure. Finally, for departure or farewell, 5 mantras are recited, whose meaning is very beautiful and auspicious. O bride, radiant as the sun, mount this all-hued, golden-tinted, strong-wheeled, highly brilliant car, gently rolling, bound for the world of life immortal. Make your husband a happy bridal procession. Rig Veda. Rise over conflicts and calamities, exceed your husband and your children in dignity and pride, and be you famous. Apastamba Mantra Brahman. Be an empress over your father-in-law, an empress over your mother-in-law, be an empress over your husband's sisters, and an empress over his brothers too. Rig Veda. May you radiate over the daughters-in-law in your new home, over all the children and the property, over your husband and his brothers, and over all the community. Apastamba Mantra Brahman. Those who are at cross purposes and opposed to the wedded couple, may they not succeed. May the hard path of life be crossed by a pleasant journey. May all the forces of evil shrink away. Rig Veda. Thank you for listening to these 19 steps, and in the next episode we will cover the wedding procedure followed in North India. Don't forget to subscribe to us and share this video. Thank you.